Hey, Team Hot Mess. It's your captain, Jen. Welcome back to the With Jen podcast. Let me introduce myself for the newer people. I talk about health, mental health, psychology, things like that, and also about business because we're all building our lives out here, and I want you to build the best one yet. So let's go. And we're also starting with the Great Minds Project in July, which is going to be a freaking amazing. So, hands down for that. I'm still working on it, but I know I have to launch it because a lot of people were looking for it. They were looking for a safe space. Anywho, I don't know who needs to hear this today, but your life is not a group project. Okay? I will delve deeper into that. I think a lot of us are walking around carrying responsibilities that were never actually ours to begin with. Your life is your life, their life is their life, okay? And I don't mean by that, oh my God, protect your energy against all costs, blah, 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 because you know I don't believe in that shit. Because things will happen, you will have to help people, people will have to help you. It's just, you don't have to feel particularly responsible for everything and everyone around you. So if you know someone who does that shit, please forward them this episode. God, I can't even talk already. Normally it's halfway through the episode, you know that. But anywho, forward them this because we all need to hear this. So I want to talk a little bit about where this idea and this episode came from. Now I'm in my 30s, right? But in my 20s and even when I was, 30, 31, I was continuously carrying everything from everyone. And I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet because I want you to have a good 15 minutes and just think about it for yourself. But I felt like I had to carry everything for everyone. And, with taking care of grandpa, with an ex-partner who needed a lot of stuff done, with family members who were always overly dramatic, and with the fact that I had to walk on eggshells continuously when I was a kid, that kind of dove right into my lap when I was a young adult. And it's a normal, healthy coping mechanism. A lot of us do that. I do think that 90% of human beings do this shit. We all pull it. If you don't, I'm super proud of you. Like, dude, really, I admire you because sometimes I still want to carry stuff for other people. But, at some point, it's up to us to realize that we take responsibility for all the things around us. And same goes for you. So please do start noticing all that, like other people's feelings, their happiness, their growth, their healing. And somewhere along the way, caring turns into carrying. And those two things are vastly different. And that's where things get kind of heavy. So let's go through a little bit of a distinction because you have caring and you have carrying. And when you care about someone, may it be, a colleague, a friend, your business, all that stuff, you just say, hey, I love you because you do. Your heart is pure. You want the best for them. You want the best for yourself. You say, I support you because you want them to have a shoulder to cry on, basically. Or you want to celebrate things with them because it's not always about doom and gloom. You say things like, hey, I want good things for you. So you root for them. When you see an opportunity, you send it towards them. And I can sit with you in difficult moments. But then comes the carrying part, which is really hard and which a lot of us do and which I want you to stop. Maybe not cold turkey because it's not that easy. And we'll get into that after a little while. But the carrying, oh my God. You think things like, oh, I need to fix this. Or, hey, I need to solve this. Or I need to make sure that you are okay. Or I need to prevent you from suffering. Right? Yeah, I know. Those do sound similar, but they create completely different lives and relationships and dynamics. Because when you're caring, you have an adult dynamic. And everyone cares equally, everyone supports equally. But when you're carrying, it kind of feels like, they are a kid and you're a parent. And your relationship with that person at work or in love or friends or whatever, it will never become equal. So let's talk a little bit about how we accidentally become emotional project managers as well. And this is a funny observation and also kind of sad. But there's a couple of examples that I can name, and, I hope you recognize yourself in one of them. So, for example, your friend is having a rough week, and they go on a group chat and they're like, oh my God, this is so tough, blah, 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 blah. And they just spitball it at you, which is okay because friends can take that from one another. That's totally fine. But immediately you go into the, I need to fix this, I need to solve this type of thing, which, it's not yours to carry. It is theirs to solve. The only thing that you can do is, I can sit with you in difficult moments. Or you have a partner who's feeling super stressed. And I know that most of us, we do want to fix that for them. We want to solve the whole shebang, which is not going to help. And most of all, when it's a partner, because it's pretty darn close, you need to make sure that they are okay, which is not your responsibility. So let's think about that for a little bit. Because with a partner, you got to root for them. You have to be truthful with them as well. So you can just say, hey, I support you. Let me listen to you. I want good things for you. And I can sit here with you in difficult moments. Or when a family member is making questionable decisions. And I've seen a lot of this around me because my family is not super duper wise, which is okay. It's basically their problem. But continuously, I went into the mode of, hey, I need to make sure that you're okay. I need to make sure that this relationship is okay because, blood is thicker than water, which in the end, I realized is total bullshit because my chosen family members are actually so much more important to me. But that's a whole different story. Or when someone is pulling away, for example, you're newly dating someone and you've been together for 2.5 months and you really want them to feel well about you, so you start walking on eggshells. You start to solve the situation. You start love bombing them. You start, all those toxic type of things. Let's not. If someone wants to pull away from you, let them pull away from you. It's okay. Because then they're not seeing you for who you are. And, yeah, that's their problem, basically. Suddenly, in all of these situations, you're analyzing and planning and you're helping and you're checking in and you're strategizing. You're also creating solutions that probably they didn't even want those solutions. And meanwhile, the other person, they're just existing. So, I've gone through a lot of that stuff as well. And nobody officially assigned me the role, but somehow I promoted myself to head of emotional operations. And I know that you do that too. But this is where it gets deeper because there are a lot of possible drivers that we as human beings that we care about. And it's definitely because, we want to mend our relationships. And like I said in the last podcast episode, relationships and all that stuff that used to mean survival for us. So having good relationships with people, having a tribe meant survival. And nowadays, luckily, it's a little bit different. You still need your job. You still need your parents. You still need all that stuff. Or, any other important figures for you. You need friends. You need all that emotional support. But it's not as huge anymore as it was like 2,000 years ago. But the possible drivers within this are fear of conflict because, back in the past, we would think that we were getting murdered, or fear of abandonment. Definitely, if you were abandoned as a child, that's a big one. You have the people pleasing because you've been walking on eggshells all the time. You have the hypervigilance. You get like extra careful about things. Being praised for being the responsible one. For a lot of us, being needed feels safer than simply being loved. Yeah. And you're allowed to just be chosen. You're allowed to just care and love. You don't have to carry, because, all these possible drivers, they activate the carrying system within you, which can be highly unhealthy for you as a person. So, what happens when you take responsibility for everything and everyone around you? Can you guess? Okay, if I'll say it, you'll be like, Jen, oh my God, duh. But anyway, you slowly disappear from your own life. You're just starting to live in all this vagueness, and you don't even know who you are anymore. So you get exhaustion and resentment, and you're overthinking the whole time. So you feel bad about yourself and about the situation, about other people. You feel responsible for outcomes that you can't even control. Oh my God, this might as well drive you completely nuts and into a psych ward. And you do constant emotional monitoring, which I don't want for you. Definitely not. So, you can spend so much time managing everyone else's experience that you just fully stop experiencing your own experiences. You become one with a situation or one with a person. And God knows I've been there, especially with Grandpa in the past 2 years. But at some point, you just got to stop. You got to tell yourself this is enough, because it will eat you up inside, and it doesn't have to do that. So there's a realization that I hope I am giving you during this podcast episode. And it's basically this: adults are allowed to have feelings. If you're 25 and over and you're like, oh my God, I'm an adult, I should behave, and boo, 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 boo. Dude, listen, you are allowed to just feel what you're feeling. And, you don't have to like murder anyone if you're very angry with someone, but you are entitled to your emotions. You're allowed to have all these feelings. And also another big one, adults are allowed to make mistakes. Let each other make mistakes. Please, for the love of God, let's just do that. Let's start a business and completely fail. Let's buy the wrong house. Let's get the wrong pet. I mean, it might be a little bit sad for the pet, but you get what I am saying. Let's do the stupid things. Let's buy the wrong couch. Let's take the wrong job, because only through these mistakes, that's where you really get to know yourself. And I want you to keep that in the back of your mind for your friends and family members and loved ones and colleagues and all the other people in your life. They make mistakes too. And their mistakes are not yours to carry. Yet again, you can go back to the, hey, I love you. I can sit in this with you, but I don't have to fix it. I don't have to do that, because normally when you start fixing things, it gets worse. Also, I'm recording at home today and my cat is going fully berserk. So I hope that's not bothering you guys too much. And the next one is adults are allowed to learn lessons the hard way. Schlep on your face. Go for it. Just, sometimes we do a hugely stupid thing. I mean, I've been there with a job as well where I thought, oh my God, this company is going to be the next big thing. And they were popping up everywhere. And I became a manager there. And yeah, guess not. But that's okay. And I was super stressed for a while. My heart was really having a hard time during all of that. But it's okay, because now I know what I want and what I need while I'm working. And, the adults are allowed to have feelings. They're allowed to make mistakes and allowed to learn lessons the hard way. None of that automatically belongs to you. Let them just do that. So, also, a little side note that I want to give you on this is that letting people struggle is definitely not the same as abandoning them, because you can still say, hey, I care for you. I love you and I want to be here. And a lot of people feel like if they don't carry the thing, they abandon people. So that's pretty huge, okay? And I don't want that for you. What healthy support actually looks like is basically this. Instead of telling them, oh my God, I'll fix it for you, try, hey, I am here. Instead of, oh my God, I'll carry that for you, try, I'll sit with you while you carry it. Support doesn't require ownership. And once you get through that part, I know this is a very hard pill to swallow. I know this is very hard to do for most of us. But once you've done that, you will feel like yourself a little bit more again. And you'll actually have all the support in all the right places. And the relationship dynamic will also get a lot better. You'll notice that because they will feel treated equally to you. And that's so, so worth it. So maybe someone in your life is struggling right now, and maybe they're hurting big time, and maybe they're confused, and maybe they are making decisions that you wouldn't make, but it's not your life. And also, maybe your job is not to rescue them. Maybe your job is just to remain present, because love is not measured by how much you carry. It only creates resentment. Sometimes it's just measured by your willingness to stay. And that's it. That's my PSA for today. All right? Feel free to follow me around on all socials. I'm basically anywhere. And if there's anything that you would like to talk about in the podcast, or if there are any questions, or if you're doubting about something, please send me a DM on Instagram. I'm there. I'm there for you. And I really want the best for you. And keep an eye out on the Great Minds Project and also on all the networking possibilities. And yeah, I love you, and I'll talk to you later. You got this.